Yeah. So, kindly tell us, what do you know about what are addictions? What is an addiction?
An addiction is anything that we do or use. It's compulsive. There is an urge to do something that you feel you cannot live without, irrespective of its negative consequences. Addictions can be behaviors. Addictions can also be substances.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. So, if I have a TV series, like a Korea series,
Yes.
and I'm watching this series over and over again, does that mean that I'm addicted to this series?
I'll give an example of people. Someone is in jam, but there's also something on TV that they're supposed to be watching at a particular time. And when someone is driving, they will even put double indicator. You know, Uganda, we're living in a country where almost everyone is an essential worker. That someone will be running home to watch something like now us guys. There's a football match, not for Arsenal fans, especially if it is a Man U match.
Bernard, could you give us like a brief recap of your story?
I started drinking and smoking weed when I was in senior one. Personally, I had never smoked weed. Now, these guys that I was with, one of them said I had ever. Now, the first one they gave the first one, he took the first puff, and then he coughed. Then they gave the second one. Then same story, the third one. Now, as number 4, they gave me the first one. I took the first puff. I didn't feel anything. Second puff. Third. When I took the third puff, I remembered the stories they used to tell us that when you smoke weed, you see things like anaconda coming for you. Man, I didn't see any anaconda. I was like, these guys are cowards. I took the fourth one. That was the initiation of everything. And that's how it started. I struggled for many years in high school. I even reached a point where I had to drop out of school. I was on the street for about 4 years. In that, I chewed my parents' school fees. They would give me money to go and pay tuition. But because addiction is so expensive, you will need to have money. And finally, time came when I got to know the Lord when I was on the street, and I got saved. And that was the beginning of my life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Young and Free podcast plus 256. Here in the room, we have Mr. Bernard and
Zipporah Nyambura Oboke.
Yes, this is a podcast that has been created. It's a platform for young people to freely talk about their issues that they face in their day-to-day life. So for our very first podcast, our very first episode, we're going to talk about addictions. So in the room with us, we have an expert on addictions, Mr. Bernard from Aruka House, Uganda. We have Aunt Zipip, who is representing the parents. So yes, Mr. Bernard, kindly tell us, what do you know about what are addictions? What is an addiction?
Yes, thank you very much, Kutesa. An addiction is, I'm going to use the normal language that can be understood by everyone. An addiction is anything that we do or use. It's compulsive. There is an urge to do something. Something that you feel you cannot live without, irrespective of its negative consequences. Addictions can be behaviors. Addictions can also be substances. Under behaviors, these are things that we do. For example, alcoholism, smoking, and we can also look at gaming. Some people are addicted to gaming, video games. If you feel you cannot live without it, if you feel it has taken control over your life, and every time you want, even you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something else, but you find that you're so hooked up to it, irrespective of its negative consequences. Then there are also substances like drugs, opioids. Drugs, I mean, some drugs like heroin, cocaine, cigarette, vaping. Then you also have prescribed medication. These are drugs that actually people buy on counter in pharmacies. Yeah, so there are pretty a number of things that we can look at in that regard.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. So if I have a TV series, like a Korea series,
Yes.
and I'm watching this series over and over again, does that mean that I'm addicted to this series?
Oh, yes. Sometimes, I will say this.
What I'm trying to say is, where do you draw the line and you're like, Kati, I'm addicted? Eh.
If it is compulsive, if it has taken control over you. I'll give you an example. You are a believer. It's time for Bible study. It's time to do your devotion. But it is also the same time that series is on. You find that this thing has taken the place of God in your life. You find that it has taken a place of something else that you would be doing under normal circumstances. And you will watch it and watch it. Now, this is the issue about series. You're always eager to see the next. There is that thing that is pulling you to the next. You find that actually you're not doing anything else, irrespective of the negative repercussions.
Yeah.
The negative repercussions are time. These things are time consuming. Some of these things are also taking a toll on your mental health. Yes, you'll find that. I'll give an example of people. Someone is in jam, but there's also something on TV that they're supposed to be watching at a particular time. And when someone is driving, they will even put double indicator. You know, Uganda, we're living in a country where almost everyone is an essential worker. That someone will be running home to watch something like now us guys. There's a football match, not for Arsenal fans, especially if it is a Man U match.
Arsenal fans. To be bad.
And then you find that this game, I'll give you an example. I am a believer.
Yeah.
I am a minister. And there is it's game time. There's a match, but there's also a Bible study. And I'm even supposed to be ministering there. But you find that I will forego fellowship and go and watch this match. It has taken control over my life. It puts everything else to come to a stop. Yeah, so when you talk about like series, yes, they can be a very addictive, and that means you get to find that you're addicted to it.
Okay. So that means that if you don't have self-control.
Yes.
Yeah. So at Zippy, you're here, you're representing the parents. Yeah. As a parent, and to the parents out there, at what point do you realize that your child perhaps is having a problem with self-control at any age? It doesn't have to be something like deep, like what you said, heroin, what? But at what point do you feel like this child may be losing control, like they don't have self-control in this aspect?
Okay, that you can see it from the way the child acts when something is gotten from them. For example, you have these children who are addicted to coca-melon, the in thing nowadays. So the child is, yes, the child is given a phone to watch. The moment you get it away, it's a tantrum. All hell breaks loose. So you can already tell here there is a problem, because you should know that the child should know that if the gadget is taken away from them, then life can go on. But the moment you remove it and all hell breaks loose, then there is a problem there. Self-control is going out the window, and now the addiction is, not addiction, but they're getting too used to the gadget. Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. Yes. So Mr. Bernard, kindly give us a brief overview of addictions. What different kinds of addictions are there, other than getting away from the description? What different kinds of addictions? Because most people, somebody watching this show may be like, I don't do drugs. So the CD movie into me. So, or somebody out there, they're like, I don't have Netflix. I don't have K-dramas to be addicted to. So if you're not doing your K-dramas, you're not doing your drugs, are there other different kinds of addictions? Can you expound on the behavior kind of addictions and so on?
Again, let me say this. Behaviors, these are some of the things that we do. Okay? Under behavior addictions, we have things like, we've talked about gaming, video games, for especially for men, for boys, for guys that are growing up. Then we also look at gambling, sports betting, casino. Some people are even using pool now for gambling. Then there are these things they call chokoro. There are pretty a number of things in gambling. And when does it become an addiction? When you feel some people can even forego a meal. Someone may not even be able to eat anything, but they will have to bet. We are dealing, from the work that we're doing now, we're dealing with parents that have gone to casino and someone has put a land title. Someone comes driving a Range Rover. They go back home on a judge, on a border. And this gets to affect everyone around them. Then there are other addictions, like I can mention that some of other behavior addictions. Someone can look at like kleptomania. There is pyromania. Yes, kleptomania. This is when someone is there's that strong urge to steal. You even steal things that you don't need. Yeah, someone steals something. They after stealing, when the urge cools down, they'll even leave it there. But before they did it, there was a very strong force to go and steal it. There are also the pyromania. This is an obsession to like burning fire, setting up fires. Yeah, you've had students that are setting up fires in schools. Sometimes it's not even a strike, but someone has that urge to go and set up fires. They burn houses. Yeah. So there are pretty a number of behavior addictions that we can look at. Then there's also the addiction of food. Some people eat as if they're hired.
Munange ba foodies. Ba foodies.
Yeah. But with food, it doesn't mean that, like you find that you've heard about someone called a glutton. You're eating and eating every minute.
They're
you're
not
eating.
called gluttons. They are foodies.
Foodies.
Yes, you go out telling people, me, I'm a foodie.
Oh.
Yeah, I love food. I'm a foodie. Hey.
Utamu no. Then there are also other addictions like shopping. Some people are obsessed, especially our sisters. They are obsessed with shopping. They will go and shop even when they don't have money. They will go and pile up all these things. And now so many times it's the brother who suffers. Especially if someone has that addiction and they have just got a new boyfriend, and they will go and almost take the whole supermarket, But okay, I mean, shopping is good. It's a good thing. But this is when it gets out of hand. There's when it gets out of hand. I think those are some of the behavior addiction. Then there is pornography. There is masturbation. Yes, there is sex. Some people are just addicted to sex. Other sexual perversions. Some people are doing bestiality. They have sex with animals. Yeah. Some people, there is also now homosexuality. There are pretty a number of things that we can look at on the behavioral addictions. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. One thing that is interesting about, because I've had an opportunity to work with you on a number of projects. And one thing about you, even with the people you work with at Aroka House, Uganda, is that you're not just an expert, but you're somebody who has lived this. You have lived this before, and it helps you to be able to relate with them even better. Because you get to understand them even better. So, Bernard, could you give us like a brief recap of your story. How did you even end up as an expert? Because most of the times these people, like addicts in the family, like we all have those uncles who they've been drinking for 17 years in the family, or like those people in the family, and most times these people even give up on them. You get people they just leave them. They don't care about them. They neglect them. So seeing that somebody has struggled and now they are even helping other people, that's something intriguing.
I'm from doing a session somewhere,
Eh.
and as I was doing a session, someone made a comment that you can only send a thief to catch a thief.
True.
Yeah. So, well, by the time I started doing this work, I was not yet a profession in that area. My specialty is child and adolescents mental health. How even before I went into the child and adolescents mental health, I struggled myself with addictions. From a young age, I started drinking and smoking weed when I was in senior one. But it actually didn't start in senior one. I come from a very Christian family. We used to go to church. They used to every day. Our grandpa, our grandfather, and grandmother, and people around home would, we would pray. But this is what happened. My grandfather used to smoke a pipe. Yeah, a pipe. They call it a mindi. But you see, when you're in Uganda and you mention a mindi, many people easily think of witchcraft. But this is a pipe which they used to smoke tobacco. So my grandfather would get his pipe, put dry tobacco, and he will give it to us as children to put for him fire. So would go. I come from a background, we are cattle keepers back home, and our charcoal we used to have predominantly was cow dung. That one you may not be able to understand it as of now, but you see, with cow dung, when it's dry, actually, by the way, it's biogas today. People, I think, yeah, these guys were sharp. The biogas that we are using today, people started using it back in the day. So I would get that cow dung, like a piece of charcoal, put it on the dry tobacco. By the time you walk from wherever it is and you're coming to grandpa, the thing has already the fire didn't start well. So you reach there, and then Mzee would spank you and show you that whenever you put a piece of charcoal on this thing, put on your mouth, and then you do like, now, the first time you would do it, you would cough. Now, he didn't know that he was actually initiating us into this. Yeah? And I'll say this, many young people are getting into these addictions, especially smoking and drinking, because it is in the line, in family. The family.
Yeah.
Parents that smoke, parents that drink. Many children will tell you that my first cigarette ever was a piece that I picked after my dad had smoked.
Wow.
Yeah, manke si, manke do. Yeah, so many young people, you find that it all begins from our families. Yeah. So now, I'm not blaming my family. I'm not blaming the old man. And this is what he would do, by the way. He would put a disclaimer that my children never smoke. Smoking is bad. But Bambe, he didn't know. Then another part was he had studied his little biology. So he knew, he would tell us, for smoking, for drinking, every time we would finish eating food, he would ask everyone to come with a glass. And then he had his local blue, we call it tonto. Yeah, the local alcohol. I think here they call it mwenge bigere. So he would put for each one of us kalito, and then he would put and tell you, this helps you for the food to go down very well. Yeah. Now, did everyone...
The Bible verse, a little wine is good for the stomach.
And now, for him, he would do it that way. But It's not by the way that everyone in the family
Yeah.
went into that. The rest of my siblings, they dropped it. But when I reached senior one, I found guys who were smoking, who were drinking. And one evening, because of bullying in the school where I was, we would go hiding in the evening. Because it was a boys' school. So if you remain around campus, you're the one who would wash all the khaki shorts. You're the one who will fetch the water. You'll wash plates. The Form 2s will be bullying you, teasing you. So at 4, we would run and get out of school. Because it was a big school that had a farm and there's a jungle somewhere there. So whenever we would go before other guys come back to the dormitory, you're safe. And then you will time to come back at supper time. So in that process, we met 4 guys. There was one in Form 3, 2 were in Form 2. And they were smoking weed. So they called us, we are also 4. And they're like, guys, come and join. We came and joined them. Of course, we knew it was bullying. They were going to beat us up. Then they were like, has anyone of you ever smoked this? Personally, I had never smoked weed. Now, these guys that I was with, one of them said I had ever. Now, the first one they gave the first one, he took the first puff, and then he coughed. Then they gave the second one. Then, same story, the third one. Now, I was number 4. They gave me the first one. I took the first puff. I didn't feel anything. Second puff. Third. When I took the third puff, I remembered the stories they used to tell us that when you smoke weed, you see things like anaconda coming for you. Yeah. Man, I didn't see any anaconda. I was like, these guys are cowards. I took the fourth one. That was the initiation of everything. In a short while, I was addicted. I kept on, they would tell us that if you smoke, you smoke again and smoke again and smoke again. Cutting the long story short, in a few, I was already addicted. And that's how it started. I struggled for many years in high school. I even reached a point where I had to drop out of school. Wow. I was on the street for about 4 years. In that, I chewed my parents' school fees. They would give me money to go and pay tuition. But because addiction is so expensive, you will need to have money. And that's why I mentioned that part of irrespective of its negative consequences, even when you know that this money doesn't belong to me, this is my parents' money, you will still go and smoke it. And yeah, I spent a lot of life like that. I wasted a lot of time. It messed up my relationship with my parents, my career. I was out of school. I ended up on street. I did so very many things to survive. And finally, time came when I got to know the Lord, when I was on street, and I got saved. And that was the beginning of my life.
Wow.
Then I went back to school and I asked forgiveness from my parents. And yeah, so how do I start to do this work? Even when I went to school, I studied biomedical engineering. But I realized even when I was doing biomedical engineering, I used to have guys in my house. Our parents who knew what I had gone through would even pay my rent. And then they bring their boys to stay with me. I would see guys coming. Guys have gone to rehab and things have not worked. Then someone stays with me. I had no program at all. I would just do life with them. I put curfew in my house. I put a few guidelines. I was like, these are the rules of the house. Kindly don't come back late. Don't do this, don't do this. And in like 4-5 months, I'm with a guy who was smoking every day. And he's like, man, can't believe that I've not smoked for this period of time. So I felt there was a calling. So even later on, I had to go back to school. And I studied child and adolescent mental health. I've also been studying counseling and a number of other things.
Wow.
And that's how I'm ending up doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yep.
Back to your story, I'm wondering that age, please tell us the age at which you realized that you were actually addicted, and tell us how that turning point, when you saw the light and you said, this has to stop. When was that moment?
2 things. 1, I can't tell you that this is the age when I realized that I was addicted. Me, I was okay. They used to tell me, you're doing this and this, and I'm like, no, me, I'm kawa. I know what I'm doing. And this is the thing that happens with many people that struggle. In fact, we are now trying to there are some words that stigmatize. If you call someone, this person is an addict, that's labeling. Yeah. We call it substance use disorder.
Yeah.
Yes. And because of whenever people would tell me, this one is spoiled, he's useless, he's an addict, for me, I would feel even offended. How would you call me an addict? Do I even drink your money? I felt the money I was even when I would have stolen it,
You're like,
I felt it was my money. You know, I felt and like
you worked for it. You stole it.
You know, like someone asks you and they're like, "Have I abused you? Have I taken anything of yours?" But in actual sense, you're actually doing it. Yeah, but the denial. So I can't say that. If you ask me that, at what age did you realize that you're an addict? No, I would say when I got actively doing these things. I think it was from around 14, between 13, 14, 15 there. And I struggled with these things for about 7 years. And my turning point, life became hard. I was on street. Everyone had given up on me. In fact, at home, they thought I had even died. Yeah, so I did lots of stuff on street. If it is being a kanabe, like washing cars on the washing bays, I worked in stone quarries, I worked in lodges, like washing those things you can imagine. But I'm from a good family. My parents had it all. At some point, actually, I was taking care of some 4 cows for an old woman. And my father at home had more than 400 cows. And addiction makes you a slave. Addiction makes you a slave. It makes you. I've been working with one of my friends. He shares his story. His father is a big person in this country, and then he was sharing his story. Even now he shares it of how he's one of when Chogam time or the time of Chogam. His father was one of the people.
Chogam?
Yes, in Namgongo. When they were going to Namgongo, he's one of the people that worked on that road in Namgongo. Not as an engineer, by the way, as a casual laborer.
Which time
and he was
that?
earnings. When was Chogam? About a few years ago. Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
2017.
Now, he was one of the guys, and guess the father was one of the people that used that road. You get my point. So it makes this addiction makes you a slave, makes you a slave that you cannot live without it. It gets you from the high level. And unfortunately, this is another thing about people that struggle. You still feel like you're up there, even when everything else shows that you're down here. But you keep with that pride of thinking, I am in control. I am in charge. I work with people that struggle. Someone comes when they're experiencing withdrawal syndrome, when someone is shaking, but when you get to talk to them, they actually show you that they are in charge of their lives. So I think denial is one of the other big things. So how do I get to my senses to do this? Whereas other people say me, I'm tired, and then what I've stopped for me, that I was going to commit suicide. And for me, I can only say that it was God. It was a miracle. The day I was going to commit suicide is the day I saw my dad after a very long time. And my dad was coming to look for me. But the key point here is I had people that were praying for me.
Wow.
My grandmother, my auntie had a team of people they were praying with. They fasted for years. And I want to, for parents especially, don't give up on praying for your children. Even when they carry them and bring them on. And you one of the mothers that I've been working with was sharing her story with other parents and telling them that they would bring his son, who was at university, carrying him when he has messed up himself, when he's so dirty, he's full of mud. And this lady would get the son, bathe him at the age of 22. As she's bathing him, he says, Mukama owange tarifa. God, mine will not die. He will not die in this thing. And then she would keep on saying, my children are for signs, wonders, and miracles. Those speaking those words, let me tell you, today, The son is one of the guys I have on my team.
Wow.
He's recovered 7 years clean. He has never gone back into that.
Wow.
And so for me, it was people that loved me. But when you're struggling in this way, even when people love you, you can't feel they love you. Yeah, when addiction comes in, addiction is selfish by nature. Many people that we work with, the people that love you the most, the people that labor to even get loans to put you in rehab, you feel that the people that are tying themselves on you. You feel like these are people that are making my life hard. I'm supposed to be out there. And many people that struggle feel like going to rehab is a wastage of time. For someone out there listening to us, it's never a wastage of time. Rehabs work. But for them to work, you must be willing. You must reach a point and you feel like, I need to change something about me. Now, for me, for other people, some people, it is health conditions that get them off these things. But for me, it was a time when I was going to commit suicide. And as people, probably at that time, I think it was a miracle. God had, my parents' prayers. And yeah, I get to see my dad. I thought he was going to kill me or do anything bad to me, but the man received me. He saw me and I came to him and he loved me the way I was. I remember that day. It's a day I will never forget in my life. I was putting on a blue jean that had turned gray. Yeah.
Interesting.
If you would break my jean, it would break. The hairstyle I had, my dad saw me and he cried. I was putting on like rags, the story of the prodigal son. And my dad hugged me. I saw my dad cry. Like I had never, my dad is a hard guy. But that day, it was the first time I ever saw my dad cry tears. And he hugged me and asked me, so would you want to go back home? I was like, I was tired. I had poison in my pocket. I went and threw it away. And then he took me back home. That my journey did not stop there. I continued. I would jump. I would escape at home until one day when they took me to All Saints Cathedral. I think it was in 2003, the 28th of November. It was Mission Week. I go to church, and there was a Mzungu man who was the preacher of the day, and he preached about the prodigal son. Everything he talked about was my story. So when it was time for the altar call, the other proud man in me was like, man, just get out. Your auntie has already told this man the whole of your story. Because everything the man preached about was me. And I was like, ha. And she's even a warden in the church. That means she snapped me. And I was like, no. As I was moving out. The unfortunate thing was, I was sitting on the third pew, like in those lines. I was like in the third line. And going back behind, there are so many people that so the easiest way was to pass in front like this. And I take the other exterior door. The moment I moved like this, trying to turn on the other side, the man held my hand and he sang the song Amazing Grace.
Wow.
Now, in me, I was like, no, let me just stay so that I don't shame this man of God. And when I came, the man was like, this is the man I've been waiting for. And I'm like, I didn't feel anything. But as we were going back home in the car, I just felt something like something huge had been lifted over my head. I was with my auntie, and there's a man I love so much, Uncle Sam Ewao. He was one of those guys at All Saints, and then he's the one who was with us in the car as we were going home. And all of a sudden I felt like something was strangling me. And I just felt again the peace like I've never felt before. That was 28th of November 2003. My life has never been the same again. So I'm making 21 years sober. I've not smoked weed. I've not smoked cigarettes. I've not taken alcohol again.
Wow.
I think that would be my turning point.
Wow. Congratulations. Wow, that's a touching story. Very, very touching. Like having to think about all these support groups that come in. Your story is really showing like these support groups that come in to help you. These people that are there for you. These people that stand with you. These people that pray for you. You know. And most times when we have these people who struggle in our families, we or even our friends, we tend to give up on them because that's a long process. You say it's 7 years. Imagine 7 years. And most times when people talk about healing addictions, they think it's going to be a snap. Like a one-time prayer. Yes, a one-time prayer could work. But we're thinking about, like it's going to be today and then that's it. But his story is showing us that it's actually a process. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes being
Lydia,
there.
it takes a lot of work. And people think for someone to recover from addiction, you must be determined. You must be determined. You must take risks. Actually, this doesn't only apply to drugs and alcohol. Every other addiction, you must be able to put things that are bigger than this thing that was controlling you. You must be able to use your time better. You must be deliberate. Every person, I've had a number of people that I've worked with who actually went to some of the best rehabs in this country. But all that time it never worked. But someone just walks, one day they wake up and the world has become a box. And they walk themselves into a facility. Themselves. There was that time when family could pay. But this time when you need help, you can't get the help. No one is there. Everyone has given up on you. And let me tell you, the Bible is very clear. Whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is the thing. It's not even the prayers that your family members make that are enough. It is you. It is you to call on the name of the Lord that salvation comes in. So there is a lot of work that has to be done by you as an individual. Yes. You're the biggest team player in your recovery. Therapists, rehabs, family members will contribute something small. They will give you a platform. Like my dad, he gave me a platform. He gave me a way. They started taking me to church. And it had to be me now to think about my life. I was seeing the people that I had studied with, that I was with in senior 1. By the time I was in senior 4, because I had stopped in senior 4. Some of the people I was with were at campus. And it's not that these are some of the guys that I was beating in class. They were going to university. And I started thinking, I would be like, God, if you can only help me and I just finish S4. There was that pain in me. People think that people that who struggle with some of these substances, people think that they don't care. People think they are numb. Let me tell you, they have pain. There's a lot of pain that is going on in their hearts that actually the world cannot answer until you get something that is bigger than what you are using. Yeah, that's
Wow. Bernard, I wanted to talk to a young man out there, a young man who is not in these things. In these things, I mean, has not gone into addictions or is not abusing anything at the moment. And on the flip side, I want you to talk to that young man who feel they have messed up. They feel this is it. Talk to them. What would you tell?
To someone out there who has not smoked, you haven't drunk, you haven't gone into these things, my prayer for you is that please, I beseech you by the mercies of God, do not start. Let me tell you something. No single person was born an addict. Every addict started with the one first experience. The first experience leads to another. Curiosity. And let me tell you, no single person, but every person, at least every person has heard about these things that we're talking about. I'm sorry to say this, but I will tell you this. Most of the addictions start with defiance. Yeah, they start with defiance. You actually know it is wrong, but let me just try it out. Let me just be with my friends. My friends are doing it. Let me join them. Maybe it is pain. It's physical pain. There are people who have had chronic illnesses and they have been on strong medication. And through this, they have ended up going even into this. So I want to say to someone out there, please, if you haven't started, don't start. When you start this journey, it's hard to break. And someone who is out there and you know that life has happened and probably you already feel you're deep into using these substances or in that habitual thing that you're involved in, I want to tell you that there is hope. Yes, there is hope, but only hope comes when you beat denial. Many people live in denial, and you must accept that there is a problem. And if there is a problem, there is help. But also, there is something very key that I want to tell to someone out there. Help is not going to come the way you want it. Many people struggle because they feel they want to be helped a certain way. You cannot go for help and you want this help to be conditional, to be on your terms. It will have to stretch you. It will have to kill some part of you. It will have to deprive you of your rights, of your pride. And that's what happens. If you come to rehab, you'll not have that phone, you'll not have money, you'll not have all these things. But many people, even when they go to rehab, they feel like, I want to remain with my freedom. But this freedom, you had it and it was misused. So I want to tell someone out there, please, by the mercies of God, stop moving, because the cycle goes on and on and on. You cannot do things the same way and you expect different results. Yep.
Wow, I like that last bit. You cannot do things the same way and expect results. So if you need something to change with your life, with
Starts
your
with
life
you.
routine, it starts with you and
That's
you
right.
changing your lifestyle. Yeah. So changing your lifestyle and changing your habits, the things
Friends that you're
do.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your friends. Yeah.
The places. Some people struggle, but someone is in recovery. Someone has been to rehab. Or they're not yet in rehab, but they used to be, people that were drinking so much. And then for maybe 3-4 months, you're not drinking. And then you say, I will just go there and have a soda. Excuse me. Yeah, they'll say, I will just go and take a soda. And then, no, in that bar, you'll end up drinking again. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, that brings me to my question, of which I think should have come even a bit earlier. Of what are some of as working in a Ruka House, Uganda, what are some of those things? I'm sure you've seen youth, if at all. I don't know if they're the majority there. So, what are some of those things that you've seen as the key factors that have contributed when you talk to the youth? What are those things that should I call them triggers, that have been triggers that triggers them into things that they will not want to do and ends up leading them to the addictions that they are in?
I think predominantly the biggest thing is guys start when they want to be like their friends. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is the biggest thing, then curiosity. People find it, cool being with cool people. And many of these that we look at as cool people are people that are using this. Some are the cousins that we have. Some are the cool kids who have cool stuff, good things around them, and you want to be like them. Yeah. Some young people are also struggling with other things like self-esteem. So they feel if I drink, if I smoke, I feel better about myself. But again, many of them will tell you it all starts from families. Some of them families, the dad drinks, all the uncles, and for them it's like a family thing. When they go for a party, they drink, and the party starts now. If it starts with you drinking with everyone around you at that party, and then a few days later you're meeting another friend, then you catch another bottle. You find that in a week you're taking like 4 5, then before you know it, it's an everyday thing, and then you find that you're hooked in that. Then the other thing is, young people are very curious, especially now with the new types of drugs that are coming in. Young people want to try literally everything. They talk about vape, they want to try it. Talk about this, but also I think the availability of these things. Our laws are weak in this country in controlling some of these substances. Every bar where you go, not even a bar, every shop, even someone selling posho and beans, they have alcohol in there. They have cigarettes in there. Some of these children are the ones who are selling these things in their parents' shops at home. And so the availability of these things is so real. So, and before you know it, someone is hooked up into it. So, yeah, there are pretty a number of things that we can look at in that.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard, for that, for enlightening us on this topic of addictions. There is pretty much a lot to uncover and to learn. I've learned a lot from what you have shared. So as we close, if you're out there and you're struggling with any kind of addiction, and you're struggling with any kind of addiction, any kind of thing that you feel like you really want to do away with it, I would like to invite you to say this prayer with me, and so that you can be able begin to start on your journey of being free. Because we are supposed to be young and free. So, addictions, it starts with acceptance. The moment you accept, so saying this prayer, then you accept that you're struggling and you want to seek help. And feel free to seek help with talking to different people, different experts who will be able to help you in this kind of situation. So we could say this short prayer with me. Father, Lord, we come into your presence and we dedicate ourselves to you. And we pray that you are able to help us in any kind of way that we could be struggling with, anything that we could be struggling with. We pray that you will help us and bring the right people to us who will be able to help us. In Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen. All together, we are the Young and Free Podcast +256. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on our social media spaces, Instagram, X. We'll be having more content coming up, and kindly tell us drop it in the comment section if you have any comments or anything that you feel you would want us to address more in regards to addictions. And feel free to DM us on our social media spaces in case you're struggling with something and you would like to be connected to a particular center, or you would want to be connected to Aruka House. Feel free to DM us via Instagram so that we can be able to help you and give you the right contact. Thank you so much for watching. Next time.